how animals have been classified under the kingdom Animalia. See, animals have been classified based on certain phenomena. So animals means we consider that they have backbone or they do not have backbone. So when the animals were born for the first time, so they were not having any backbone. So all those animals are grouped under a heading, so they were called non-chordates. See, chord means notochord, so another name for backbone. So later, as the evolution took place, the animals, they developed the backbone or the notochord. So those animals are grouped under the heading chordates. So we have animals which do not have backbone are non-chordates, and animals which have backbone are called chordates. So not only this, so we have got some other basis for the classification. So animals are made up of cells, group of cells form tissues, group of tissues forms organs, and organs together form the organ system, and organ system form a organism like animal. So when we look at this, so first animals were having group of cells, but they were not specialized to have the tissues. So the animals which come under the cellular level of organization, so they were grouped under one heading. And the animals, so they developed, they had certain improvements, and the group of cells form the tissues. So those animals which have got tissues were considered as animals with tissue level organization. See, all animals are made up of cells. So group of cells form the tissues, group of tissues forms the organs, and group of organs forms the organ system. Several organ systems constitute a animal's body or an organism. So this group of cells performing certain functions, so they were considered as animals belonging to the cellular level of organization. They do not have any specialized tissues. Later, some animals, they developed the tissues from this group of cells, and those were called the animals belonging to the tissue level of gradation. So we see another phenomena here, having the organization of the animals with a gradation. So gradation 1, the animals belonging to gradation 1 have been kept first at the first stage. So where there was a little improvement, and we can find the animals belonging to the grade 2, then grade 3. Like this, the gradation of organization of the body can be seen. So likewise, scientists have discovered certain other characteristics on which animals have been classified. So they looked at the appearance or the looks of the body of animals. When they look at the body of animals, it has got a symmetry. So some animals were round shaped and some animals were elongated. So that symmetry is nothing but the appearance of the body of animals. skin of the animals. So it has got several layers of epithelial cells. So it was having 1, 2 and 3. So 3 layers can be formed. So among those 3, only 2 layers are formed in those animals, means those animals are called diploblastic animals. So among those 3 germ layers, if the animal has got all the 3, then those were called triploblastic animals. So those 3 layers are mainly ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So this was another basis for the classification of animals. So coming to the third character, so all the animals have got its body cavities. So the body cavity is called by another name, that is coelom. So some animals were not having a body cavity. So those were considered as acoelomate animals. So some animals were having body cavity but it was partially present. Such type of animals were called pseudocoelomate. Pseudo means false. Body cavity is there but it appears to be there, exactly not present. And some animals are having true coelom or a distinctive body cavity seen. Those animals are called coelomates. So based on this also classification was done. And as I said, the animals are made up of backbone, or it is called notochord. So in the primitive organisms, notochord was seen. So as it got developed, so it was called by another name, that is the vertebral column. So based on all these characters, animals have been classified under different groups. So let us learn like this in detail about all the classification. The animals under kingdom Animalia have been classified under various characteristics having bilateral symmetry or radial symmetry, or having the germ layers may be diploblastic or triploblastic, having the outer ectoderm, inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. The body cavity called coelom may be absent, called acoelomate animals, present partially called pseudocoelomates, and true coelom is present means coelomates. And it may or may not have notochord or vertebral column. You can see this flow chart where the animals have been classified under different phylums having different characteristics. You have first phylum Porifera, second phylum Coelenterata, third one Platyhelminths, so fourth one nematodes or roundworms, fifth one Annelida, sixth phylum consists of Mollusca, seventh phylum consists of Arthropoda, and eighth phylum consists of Echinodermata. You are seeing diversified nature of animals under the kingdom Animalia, which may be having backbone or not having. So based on certain characteristics, animal classification has been done. Here you are seeing the appearance of the body of animals like prawn, lion, sea anemone or starfish. So they consist of symmetry like bilateral symmetry or radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is shown by the organisms like prawn and lion, where the body can be exactly divided into two parts when you draw a line at a particular plane. Whereas in the radial symmetry seen in the coelenterate like sea anemone and echinodermate like starfish, so if you draw a line across any plane from the center of the body, so the body can be divided into exactly two parts. So based on another character, so that is the presence or absence of germ layers, the classification has been done. Here the animals, based on the presence of two germ layers,
So they are said to be diploblastic. So they have the germ layers, namely ectoderm and endoderm. So if all the three germ layers, namely ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm are present, the animals are said to be triploblastic. So on the basis of the presence or absence of coelom, again the classification can be done. Here you are seeing the body cavity or coelom of human being where it is accommodating heart, stomach and urinary bladder. So on the basis of the presence or absence of coelom, animals are said to be acoelomates, coelomates and pseudocoelomates. Coelomates are organisms having true body cavity. Acoelomates are the organisms having no body cavity, whereas pseudocoelomates are organisms having a false coelom. So based on the presence of notochord, so notochord can be called by another name, backbone. So based on this, again animal classification has been done. So they are non-chordates and chordates. You are seeing a non-chordate like coelenterate and insects. And you are seeing the animals like human being and a bird or a horse. So where they are chordates. Based on the presence or absence of the backbone or notochord, so animals have been classified into non-chordates and chordates. So let us learn 8 different groups coming under the non-chordates with the help of this schematic representation. So you can see 8 different groups, namely porifera or sponges, coelentrates, platyhelminths, asculumens or roundworms, annelids, insects or arthropods, mollusks and echinoderms. So let us learn all these 8 groups in a brief manner.
Let us learn how animals have been classified under the kingdom Animalia. Here the animals are mainly classified into non-chordates and chordates. So we will learn how many groups are there belonging to the non-chordates. So non-chordates are the one which do not have the notochord or backbone. So we nearly study 8 different groups coming under non-chordates. Here the animals under the animal kingdom, they have been classified into 2 types. So animals having the these are characterized by having the stinging cells. So these are not having any body cavity. So similarly, some other group of animals called platyhelminths or flatworms. So which you see in your digestive system. So tapeworm, liver fluke, all these constitute the flatworms. So these were also lacking the body cavity. So this forms the third phylum called platyhelminths. So animals having the tissue level of organization are grouped under three headings: animals without body cavity, animals having the body cavity but not distinctively seen, and animals with a true coelom or body cavity. So under these acoelomates or animals without body cavity, we have the phylum called Coelenterata, which comes in the second stage. So these coelentrates are what characterized by having the stinging cells. Examples are hydra, jellyfish, corals. So coming to the third phylum, so it has got platyhelminths. See, platyhelminths have been characterized by having flat body. So they having the body cavity absent in these animals. So the examples are the organisms like the tapeworm, liver fluke, etc. And coming to the fourth phylum called Nematoda, so these are called roundworms. So these roundworms live in the intestine as a parasites, so they do not have a true coelom. So they are falsely present. So these constitute the fourth phylum. And coming to the fifth phylum, so the animals having the coelom or body cavity have been classified again into animals having the germ layer, mesoderm, and the animals having the germ layer, that is endoderm. So animals with the mesoderm have been classified into this phylum 5, constituting annelids. So this phylum Annelida consists of the examples like earthworm, nereis, leech, where the body can be divisible into so many annular rings. You can find the annular rings in these animals. So phylum 6 constitute the mollusca, where you find the soft-bodied animals. See, these soft-bodied animals like snail, freshwater mussel, octopus are some of the examples. Phylum 7 consists of arthropods. So these are nothing but insects. These are the only animals which come under the non-chordates, which are able to fly. So all insects have been classified under this seventh phylum called arthropod. Then the animals with the germ layer called endoderm, they are classified into two groups: the animals without this notochord or backbone and the animals with notochord or backbone. So the animals without notochord are kept under the phylum, that is Echinodermata. This eighth group consisting of these animals are characterized by having a tough skin or a thorny skin, where you find the examples like starfish and sea urchin. Then the animals which have backbone are considered as chordata. So these chordates are learned in detail next. So let us study in detail about the animals classification. As we have learned through the flow chart, so animals have been classified into non-chordates and chordates. So based on the presence or absence of notochord or backbone. So first we are going to study about the non-chordates which do not have the notochord or backbone. So in non-chordates we learn about 8 different groups. So comprising of the animals of the primitive nature. So first group is called the phylum Porifera. See, these poriferans are also called by another name sponges. See, sponges, as you can see here, see, these are animals. So the sponge which we use for cleaning the tables or vehicles or to prepare the puppets. So those sponges are animals. So these have got numerous pores in them. So these are pore-bearing animals. So these are considered as animals, but they are not movable. They are non-motile. They cannot move from one place to another place. See, the characteristic feature of these animals is the pores are ostia, we can call them, and there is an osculum, or it is mouth-like structure which is a opening to the body of these organisms. So you can see the examples: Cycon, Euplectella, Spongilla. See, these usually live in the marine habitat. They live in ocean. So these sponges, so they will be sticking or adhering to a solid surface. So solid surface like rocks present at the bottom of the ocean. They will be sticking onto it and they will grow. So water will be circulating through these organisms, through these numerous pores called ostia, and comes out through this osculum. So when the water enters into the body of these sponges, so there is a canal system inside the body. So through that canal system, water enters and supplies food and oxygen to the organism. So it has got a number of cells, so which are specialized to become tissues. So those tissues perform all the life processes like respiration, digestion. So there is a outer covering, when hard covering, so that is called exoskeleton. So when you see a sponge, so you can feel a rough surface on it. So it is nothing but a hard exoskeleton. So the body has got minimum amount of differentiation. So you cannot find a separate organs in their body. So only you find certain number of cells, so which are specialized to become simple tissues and perform all the life processes. The second group coming under the non-chordates is coelenterate. See, another name for this group is Cnidaria. See, these coelenterates have the examples like hydra, sea anemone, corals, jellyfish, etc. See, what is the speciality of these organisms? So these live in water, mainly in ocean. So it is called marine habitat. Here the speciality of animals. So here you are seeing a hydra. You are seeing the parts like it has got tentacles. So these tentacles have innumerable number of cells which are called stinging cells. So these animals are characterized by having stinging cells. See, whenever an organism come to attack it, it will sting those organisms with its tentacles, or it will capture the prey and take it as food. You can see the structures like epidermis, mesoglea, gastrodermis. So it is made up of two layers. So it is a diploblastic animal. So all the animals coming under this coelentrates are diploblastic, and you find a body cavity. So that is called gastrovascular cavity. So they live in water. So you can find here more body design differentiation. Here the cells have become tissues, and tissues are more specialized to perform different functions. So another character you can see here is, so they live in colonies. So they live in group. See, you can see here corals. When you see the bottom surface of the ocean, so they will be growing for a longer distance. So there is a region around the sea of country Australia. So it is popularly called the Great Barrier Reef. So that comprises the kilometers. So here these ciliates are characterized by either for living in colonies or they may live in solitary condition. See, they live alone, like for example Hydra. So here its type of living is said to be solitary, whereas some live in colonies. See, these corals are characterized by another feature. So whatever we use red color stone in our gold ornaments is extracted by these corals. So let us study the third group coming under the non-chordates. So that is platyhelminths or flatworms. Here you can see the organisms like planaria, liver fluke and tapeworm. So when you see these organisms, so they look very flat. So they are called flatworms. So here the body design is little complex when we compare those two that we have learned earlier. So those are poriferans and coelenterids. Here these are bilaterally symmetrical animals. See, bilaterally symmetrical means when we look at the appearance of these organisms, if we imagine a line exactly from the center of the body, so the animal can be divided into two equal parts. So this is the special feature of these organisms having bilaterally symmetrical nature. So these have got three layers in their body surface. So these are triploblastic animals, as they have the outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. So these layers allow the formation of different specialized tissues and which perform different life processes like respiration, digestion, reproduction, etc. Here the body cavity is not true. The coelom is partially present or it is said to be pseudocoelom. So these animals are said to be pseudocoelomates. So there is no accommodation for specialized organs inside the body cavity. So these are also said to be flat dorsiventrally. So from top to bottom, so when we see the body of animals, so it is said to be flat. So dorsal side as well as ventral side, so these are said to be flat. So these are usually found in the digestive system of the animals. See, when we suffer from the stomach ache, so the doctor will say that there will be worms in your digestive system. See, these tapeworm, liver fluke will be there in the digestive system. So these are called parasites. See, these parasites, they will be inside the digestive system and they will be taking or sucking the ready food which is digested in your digestive system. So there are some organisms which are said to be free living also, means they are not parasitic. So these parasites harm the living organism by sucking the food and blood from the living organism like human beings, or this inhabits the sheep. So liver fluke will be there in the digestive system of sheep. So when the person eats the raw meat, so those eggs will be entering into the digestive system of human being and he will suffer from these organisms. Or when we walk in a barefoot, the eggs of these animals which will be there on the grass enter into your body through the cracks of your feet and they will reach the digestive system and inhabit there. So you find some of the free living organisms like planaria which lives in the soil, but these are not said to be parasites. So examples you can see here are planaria, liver fluke and tapeworm. Now let us study the fourth group coming under the non-chordates. So these animals are called by the name nematodes. So they come under the group nematoda, or it is also called as astelminths. So the animals are called roundworms. Here you are seeing the cylindrical shaped animals. So this is Ascaris lumbricoids. It is called roundworm, which lives in the intestinal region of the human being. This is Wuchereria bancrofti, also called as filarial worm, so which will be inhabiting the lymphatic system or blood vessels of the human beings. Here these organisms, the body is said to be having bilateral symmetry. So that is, when we imagine a line exactly from the center, so it can be divided into two equal parts. And it is said to be having 3 layers. So the organisms are triploblastic animals. So body is round or cylindrical in shape. So these have tissues but no particular organs or organ systems. So special tissues perform life processes like digestion, respiration, reproduction. So the body cavity is said to be having the pseudocoelomate. So the pseudocoelom means the body cavity is not distinctively seen in these organisms also. So these are popularly called parasitic worms. So parasites are those which will take the help of the living organisms. By taking help, so they will also harm them. So these parasites are the organism like Ascaris. So it will be inhabiting the digestive system of the human beings. So where it severely harm a human being by causing the serious digestive disorders. So this Wuchereria bancrofti causes elephantiasis. So the leg and the genital organs becomes swollen because they inhabit the blood vessels called lymphatic systems. So this causes a disease called elephantiasis or filaria. So this is called a filarial worm. So these annelids are found in variety of habitats like freshwater, marine water, as well as on land. So the body structure is made up of the true organs. There is thus extensive organ differentiation. This differentiation occurs in a segmental fashion, with the segments lined up one after the other from head to tail. Dear students, we learned 4 different groups coming under non-chordates of the animal kingdom. So in the first place, we learned about the sponges or poriferans. Here the sponges are diploblastic in nature. Though we see a body cavity, here explanation doesn't tell about the presence or absence of the coelom or body cavity. So here the body is made up of pores, so they are called poriferans. Coming to the second group, so those are cylindrites. So cylindrites, you remember the example of Hydra. So here also you learned that the body is made up of 2 layers, that is these are diploblastic animals. And coming to the body cavity, so there is absence of body cavity, so they are said to be acoelomate. So example is Hydra. So coming to the platyhelminths or flatworms, you have the tapeworm as an example, and these also do not have the body cavity and are said to be diploblastic animals. Here the little differentiation of the tissues has taken place. So you can see little bit improvement from one organism to another organism. So coming to the fourth group, that is the roundworms, here the body cavity has started to form. So here the body cavity is said to be pseudocoelom. So these are pseudocoelomates. This distinctive body cavity is not seen, but another special feature or advancement you can see here is the body is made up of 3 layers. So the nematodes or roundworms are said to be triploblastic. Like this, you can remember the characteristics of these 4 groups. And moving on to the next group, so the 5th group includes annelids. So this group Annelida includes the organisms like Nereis, earthworm and leech. So you remember this earthworm which which is popularly called as farmer's friend. Here what you can see the ring-like structures over the body. So these are called rings. So annular rings. So Annelida having the ring-like body structure. So here you can see the characters like, so body is bilaterally symmetrical. So when we draw a line, exactly two parts can be obtained. So these are triploblastic animals having the three gel layers, namely ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Here the distinctive feature you can see is these have true coelom, true body cavity. So you can see the distinctive body cavity in these organisms. So from now onwards, whatever you study, those four groups coming under the non-chordates have a true body cavity. So these are said to be coelomates. So here annelids are also coelomates. Here the body structure you can see is having a segmental fashion. Here all the organs can be seen in the body of these organisms. You are observing some of the examples of the class Arthropoda, which is said to be the largest class of the animal kingdom. Here you are seeing the palemon or prawn, Periplaneta or cockroach, spider, butterfly, musca or housefly, scorpion or palemnius. We are learning the sixth group coming under the non-chordates. So that is the group called Arthropoda. So it is popularly called as the class Insecta. So whatever you see insects around you during night time or when you go to a thick forest, so you cannot count those insects which you see around you. So this forms the largest group under the animal kingdom. So these colorful insects you are seeing here, it may be a prawn or it may be a cockroach, it may be a housefly, butterfly, spider, even scorpion is an insect. So what makes the special feature of these insects? So these have jointed legs and body is segmented. Here you can see the segments in the body and these legs are joined to one another. So the name has come, that is Arthropoda with jointed legs. Here the body is bilaterally symmetrical and a true coelom is formed. Here the body cavity is filled with blood. So when any insect is killed, you can see a white color liquid. It is called blood, which is not red in color. It is called hemolymph. Here the circulatory system, so consists of blood, is said to be of open circulatory system. See what is meant by open or a closed circulatory system. Suppose all insects have open circulatory system means, so blood does not flow in a definite blood vessels. So blood will be directly filled in the body cavity. So far you have learned 6 groups coming under non-chordates. Though you are learning little information about the organisms coming under different groups, so in later part of your study, that is in the class 11, you will study them in detail. So let us come to study this group. So the 7th phylum called Mollusca. See, mollusca are characterized by having soft body. So in ocean, you might have observed this octopus. You will be watching the channels like Discovery Channel. So where they will be showing the aquatic environment. Usually they inhabit the marine environment. So here the soft bodied organisms will be included under this heading, that is mollusca. Here you can see a organism Chiton. Here you can see a snail. It is called Phyla. Here there is a freshwater mussel. So the shelled animal is called Unium. So all these are some of the examples of the molluscs. So these have the body structure, that is bilateral symmetry. Here also you find the bilateral symmetry. Here what you find the advancement. See here the segmentation has been reduced and body cavity or coelom is also reduced. So that is the one thing you can notice here. Here also you can see the open circulatory system. Means blood will be directly flowing in the body parts, not flows in the definite blood vessels. Here you can see one characteristic feature. So organs for the excretion have become developed. So those organs are like kidneys, which are meant for excretory process. So there is a food. When you see a snail moving around in a rainy season, you can see a strong muscular foot in the snail. So it is used to move around with the help of that. So one more interesting thing about these organisms is, you might have heard that this type of organism, shelled organism, produces the pearl. So this freshwater mussel. So one of the species of this group called pearl oyster. This pearl oyster synthesizes the pearls. See how it prepares the pearls. See, when it lives in the ocean environment, marine environment, if accidentally one of the sand particle enters into the body of these organisms, it thinks that it has a foreign substance and it might harm it. So thinking that, animal starts producing a shiny substance around that sand particle. So it goes on depositing that shiny substances around that. So when it thinks that it's no longer harming it, so it stops producing that shining substances. So when the people harvest these shell animals, when they cut open that, so they will be finding pearls in that. So there may be one pearl or more than one pearls. Last, in the 8th class you are studying under the non-chordates is echinodermata. So where echinos means head jaw and derma means skin. See how the animal head jaw, its skin is covered by the spines, like that. The animals coming under this group have got hard skin which is having the spines. So these spiny skinned animals, the hard covering is made up of substance called calcium carbonate, where it is considered as skeleton of the body of these animals. Here these animals are said to be having all the 3 germ layers, so they are called triploblastic animals, and the body cavity is true coelomic cavity is found here, and the peculiar nature you can see here is, so the locomotory structures are said to be tube feet. See these tentacles having the tube feet help the organisms to move in water. So these exclusively live in the marine habitat where they are found in ocean. So this tube system consisting of the tube feet allow the water to enter into it and helps the free swimming of these animals. Examples you can see here are Antedon or feather star, Holocoria or sea cucumber, Echinus or sea urchin, Asterias or starfish. So we learned all the 8 groups coming under the non-chordates, and let us move to the chordates in our next class.
Let us see the real pictures of all the organisms that we learned belonging to these 8 groups of non-chordates in their natural environment. Here you can see the sponge, Cycon, Euplectella, Spongilla, which are the examples of the phylum Porifera. The second phylum consisting of coelentrates, you can see the examples like Hydra, jellyfish and sea anemone. Coming to the third phylum, Platyhelminths, you are seeing the planaria, liver fluke, and tapeworm. So coming to the roundworms, you have the Aschelminths, where you can see the examples like Ascaris. And here you can see the Wuchereria or filarial worm. So coming to the fifth phylum, you are seeing the examples. So these are annelids. You are seeing the examples Nereis, earthworm, and leech. So coming to the phylum Arthropods, you are seeing different types of insects, where you are seeing prawn, scorpion, butterfly, spider, cockroach, and housefly. Here you can see the centipede also. So the seventh phylum, called Mollusca, consists of examples like chiton, phyla, a snail, octopus. You can see the 8 tentacles of the octopus. Here there is a unio or freshwater mussel. The last phyla, called Echinodermata, you can see the examples like Anchidon, Echinus or sea urchin, sea cucumber, and starfish.